All right, check 1 2 1 2. All right, let me break in here for a minute and see if our sound actually works. And then, oh look, you done?
I think so.
Are you done, crazy person?
You
Welcome
said it.
once again to the Gonzo Radio Sports Desk. Man, it's been a minute, right? It's been a couple of weeks. Things have played out. Here we are with Super Bowl 58, which, by the way, I'm exactly as many years old as the Super Bowl is. I'll never forget. As long as there's a Super Bowl, I'll know how old I am. You'll be over there like 83 years old. So, Uncle Gonzo, do you know how old you are? What Super Bowl is it? That's all I got to do. So I am here with Matty Damaz, who's on his phone. Very unprofessional. My God.
I am responding.
What do you think? You think you're Adam Schechter? Is that what you is?
I got stuff to make sure people are hearing us, watching us, seeing us. So, assuming everybody is, hello, everybody. Happy Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday.
That's what you get for putting your notifications on.
We got some stuff that we got to go over today.
All kinds of stuff.
Oh, man. Today's a big one. Yeah, it's huge.
I mean, we're looking into props. We're looking into parlays. We're looking into conspiracy theories. We're looking into all kinds of crazy stuff. Johnny the Autobahn in repose.
No hat. Finally got a
cut. With the banging slick back.
Looking clean.
He looks like one of the fucking Peaky Blinders. Come on, can you do
a
Cockney accent?
My hair is not done. She's like, you look just like the main actor. And I said, I'll take it.
That's all you got to do is just say, oi. Just say, oi, mate.
Oi, mate.
Yeah, there it is. Careful, he might stab your ass. Watch out.
I'll play a double, He'll
stab you. He's going to stick a pen in your neck. Watch out. So we were sitting here going, I love that mug, man. I do.
I told you I'm taking it, man.
You ain't getting my mug.
Bro. This
you
is
ain't
the one right here.
What does it say?
It says a bunch of fucks on it is what it says.
Wow,
let's go.
That's a lot.
It says, that's where all my fucks are. That's my fuck mug. That's where all my fucks are.
Unless it's in Hebrew and it's kajifaf. So if you read it from right to left, that's what it should read. I thought it was a Hebrew cup.
It says cuff if you read it backwards.
Anywho, one of the more outrageous things that we were talking about, no, not Taylor Swift. One of the more outrageous things that we were talking about was the alien prop. There's an alien prop.
Yes.
That is now. What is the premise of this alien prop?
It's a little outlandish, to say the least.
Go ahead.
100,000 to 1 if the aliens invade, which is kind of a little bit arbitrary. Like, invade, what does that mean? They're going to start shooting? Are they just going to land? They're going to show up and take over a building?
Sure.
And this is the unfair part. This is the part that's not going to happen, is the game ends in a tie. Why would you put those two together?
So it's game ends in a tie.
And aliens invade.
And the aliens invade.
True bet, folks. 100,000 to 1. Not making it up. It got 56 million views on TikTok. This one particular article bet, whatever it was. Really? Now, let's play devil's advocate.
Let's play Reynolds Wrap hat.
You're sitting in line at Caesars, okay? Or you're standing in line at Caesars, let's say. And you've got your tip sheet and you get your props, Purdy's throwing a pick, et cetera, et cetera. And the guy in front of you drops 50 grand on the invasion. Okay, you pack your shit, you turn around, you get your family, you get on a bus, and you get home, and you get in your bunker. Because there's no way in God's green earth
head for the hills
that this 100,000 to 1 bet with the alien invasion and the tie will be coming in today.
Not even that. A scenario that played out for me would be, I'm a happy guy. I'm at the Super Bowl. Okay, and I get the notification, bing, that a major line moved. Okay, and
alien invasion,
and it goes right to that crazy. Because I will have looked at it because first of all I'm not going to believe you. I got to see it for myself, and so then I'm gonna look at it. So it's going to get a notification,
+240,
and all of a sudden it goes down to +240. I'm like,
you run for the hills,
right? And it's like somebody had to drop like $1 million on this prop.
They only had to put $50.
And I'm at the Super Bowl. I'm in my nice seats, and the 20-yard line, upper deck, cost me about $8,000. I'm just gonna go, well, damn, looks like we got to go. But the game hasn't started yet. We haven't even done the national anthem or anything.
I mean, this is nothing we talked about.
See you in the news.
Realistically, though, I mean,
I'm leaving.
Silly people are going to make this bet $1, but I mean, nobody really is going to make this bet.
$1 million, somebody knows something.
What I look at is what the real odds are. Now, this is not going to happen. So is 100,000 to 1 really enough? I don't think so. And remember, Vegas is all about algorithms and math. They're the ones that create the lines.
1 million times 100,000.
Oh no! Listen, what you bet
TRI.
No, granted.
LLION.
But again, it's still the line.
You're officially a country.
You're still betting the line, which is 100,000 to 1, which is not enough.
Right.
And based on, again, somebody wasn't sitting in a boardroom going, okay, what should we make the line? You're just like, okay, boom, 100,000. No, it's a simple algorithm that they use to create, not simple, it's a complex algorithm.
You're gonna hit the $1 trillion bet in whatever casino that you sent the bet in with. You're gonna bring the ticket and go, change the name to me.
Pretty much.
Whatever my name is. Well, your name is Fulgencio. Yeah. Well, guess what? Now instead of Harrah's, it's Fulgencio's.
Yeah, they can own the
Why?
casinos.
Because I own you now.
Well, the problem is, though, if the aliens do invade and the game ends in a tie, you're probably not going to be able to cash your ticket. So,
oh, come on.
Yeah, that's going to be a problem. So
$1 trillion
anyway,
should buy freedom, right? Aliens will honor cash.
all right, we got other prop bets to talk about.
We got other prop bets. Well, first of all, let's make it clear to everybody who are the participants in Super Bowl 58, the 58th running of the NFL World Championship game, otherwise known as the Super Bowl. Okay, which by the way, it wasn't known as the Super Bowl until Super Bowl 4.
Correct.
They didn't call it the Super Bowl back then.
It was the NFL championship game.
It was the NFL championship game.
Yes.
And it was basically the NFL throwing the AFL a bone. Oh, well, we're thinking about merging with you, but we're going to wait for a couple of more years and see if you guys are actually legit. And then Kansas City comes out and lights Minnesota up in Super Bowl 3. Are we legit now?
Yeah, do we count?
Are we okay now?
Speaking of good segue for KC.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
Because they've been there from the jump.
Yeah.
They were in Super Bowl 2.
Yeah.
Okay, 2 and 3. Okay, and Len Dawson almost got to 4
Yeah.
if it wasn't for the Jets, So yeah, it's the Kansas City Chiefs versus the San Francisco 49ers, two storied franchises. Basically a prediction that a lot of people made.
Well, for sure the Niners.
Yeah,
I mean the Niners were
preseason predictions. A lot of people made this preseason prediction.
Yeah, I mean, but certainly as the season goes along, I mean, predictions in the first part of the season, you can pretty much
Except for my crazy ass, of course.
wipe your butt with.
Yeah,
So many
well-
things change, happen, whatever.
Right.
But the Niners, despite that prediction, have been the team all year long. They've been the most consistent.
Sure.
They had that little dip in the middle of the season when Debo got hurt. They dropped 3 straight. We talked about it, during the last few shows.
It was just bad timing too because they had 2 division opponents that were just starting to get their feet under them.
They lost
and-
a tough game to
Yeah, bad
Cincinnati,
timing.
Minnesota, whatever it was, but
Yeah.
they went through a little bit of a bump in the road, which again you would expect. Purdy, the young quarterback at times, whatever.
Kyler Murray went into San Francisco and lit them
Yeah,
up.
tore him up. But looking at these two teams, KC, maybe a team, again, we expected them to be there from last year based on the success, minus Tyreek Hill. Obviously, you just assumed they would be there in the end. They struggled this year. At one point, they were 9-6. And we looked at them as maybe not being dead, but being in real trouble, backs against the wall. And they really had to find a way to win. They lent on Pacheco a lot. They started running the ball. And that defense that we kept talking about, how good they are and how good they were at that time. Man, they're just so good. Better than the Niners
Schwartz.
defense. Arguably, in terms of the numbers,
May the Schwartz be with you.
better than the Niners. And it may not be close. We'll go over some of the situational stats.
Sure.
But, now again, but you got Mahomes, you have Andy Reid, you have the success of those two, Kelsey and the creativity. It's going to come down to the chess pieces today and where they align. And both these coaches, arguably the best in the game, are in the spotlight because to me this is a defensive, smart played, well played game by both sides, limited mistakes. First team to break could be the difference in this game.
I will, on most of those points, I don't disagree at all. Okay. Me, I like to break it down into the macro, not even the micro. Okay. So the macro would be never bet against the champ. The champ is here. Simple as that. I hate to catchphrase you to death, okay, but Mahomes is the champ, and the champ is here, okay, and he would have 3 Super Bowls if his defense wasn't destroyed the first time that they played against Tampa Bay. Second time they played against Tampa Bay, they had a little bit of a defense, and they tore Tampa Bay a new ass. Okay, so we are dealing with the era of the boss. Okay, I'm not going to wear a number 15 jersey, and I'm not going to start putting ketchup on my steak. Okay, but it is what it is. Okay, he's the boss. And we all need to realize that he's the boss. Now, bad day at the office. He won a Super Bowl with the bad day at the office. Okay, because the defense showed up. I think this defense is the best defense that he's had since he's been there.
Oh, by far.
By far. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
By far. Okay. So when you got that guy, 6 bodies, Jason Kelsey, okay, 6 bodies and Jason Kelsey, you're going to win ball games. You're going to score 24 to 27 points, and that defense isn't going to let you score 20. And it's a very simple formula. It's the Andy Reid formula. Score more than the other guy.
They've scored those points in the playoffs this
I
year.
was just going to say, in
Yeah.
the regular season,
But
they
the
could
regular
barely get past
season,
21.
now
yeah.
listen, remember, and this is a point that we harped on all year long, the Chiefs were the worst second half scoring team in the league.
By far.
The worst.
By a light year.
They
Yeah.
were just under a full touchdown, 7 points in the entire second half. If they do that today, they're not going to win.
I will
Okay?
say this though, it's a whole different team right now in the playoffs, and they've shown that. Like, they are scoring 25, 27. They're back to kind of being the Chiefs, but they still are riding the defense on this. And if they're going to win, it's going to be on the back of that defense.
Sure, but
Yeah,
listen,
100%.
let's think about the coaches. Okay, Andy Reid. Okay, one thing, and I told you all this during the season. Everybody's talking about, the Kansas City lost back-to-back games, and Kansas City's having a downtime. I thought, listen, one guy who can always figure it out is Andy Reid. Okay, one guy who can always figure it out is Andy Reid.
My question is this:
Okay,
if he
and
wins
he
the
did.
Super Bowl this year, is he the greatest coach? Can you put him up with Belichick? And please don't do the 7-6 ring thing.
He's in
Without
that.
Brady,
He's in that
the guy
echelon.
hasn't won nothing. So
He's in that echelon.
He is, right?
He's in that club.
He
Top
is.
5
He
is
is
guaranteed.
He's with the Chiefs 11 seasons. This is their 5th Super Bowl appearance.
and
Right.
he went
So-
to one with Philly.
And they're going for their 4th win.
Yeah.
And they've had what? They've had
Third
7 AFC Championship appearances.
Yeah. But
you got to, man.
He took Alex Smith to the AFC Championship twice.
you don't have to be winning the argument of being the best coach to just be in the discussion. I think that's good enough. And
Yeah.
certainly with the win, he's in the discussion.
He's a first ballot Hall of Fame lock.
Already,
Yeah,
okay.
already, yeah, no doubt.
First ballot Hall of Fame lock.
Well, listen, here's the deal with that. Is there are 3 other coaches that have won 3 Super Bowls. It's been Gibbs, it's been Chuck Noll, it's been Bill Belichick. So he would be the 4th. I mean, that's enough, right? 2 is enough. 3
That's
certainly
an
enough.
exclusive club.
Yeah, that's where
That's
he
an
lines
exclusive
up.
club.
So, yeah, that's granted. He's in that conversation.
And when you
for sure.
look at his record without Mahomes, it's phenomenal, man. It's like 180 and 70 or something like that. It's like even without one of the greatest quarterbacks ever, he's still, and that might be not the exact, but it's way up there in wins compared to losses, even without Mahomes. So I
Right.
think he does it anywhere he goes with any team he has. Great, in my opinion, Belichick would be the greatest head coach as far as defense, and Andy Reid would go as the greatest head coach as far as offense.
one of the greatest, yeah, for sure.
He is way up there.
Yeah, for
let,
sure.
let us remember that he got the Philadelphia Eagles to 4 straight NFC Championship games and went to a Super Bowl that he could have very easily won if his defense didn't have a meltdown. Okay, very easily could have won that game. They had the Patriots on the ropes. Now, of course, you had the whole Belichick, Brady, but
It's when they first started getting cooking.
Right.
That's when they
Right.
knew what they had, and
I mean,
Brady was a
and
baller.
let me tell you, that's the game that, by the way, that's the Super Bowl that solidified.
Was that the Edelman game where he had
No,
like?
the Terrell Owens
I
game.
was just gonna
Oh,
say
okay.
that
He came
Terrell
back from a
was
broken
injured.
fucking
yeah,
leg.
oh,
That's right.
yeah.
That's right.
Broken fucking leg. That thing couldn't have hardly been knitted. And you know
Yeah.
what he did? He give me a soft cash, shoot it up with fucking lidocaine, and I'm playing.
He had a good game.
And he had like
didn't he?
8 for 106
Yeah,
and a
I was gonna
touchdown.
say,
He
he
put
still
that
lit 'em
team
up.
up. He had 5 first down catches in that game.
That's right. That's
Okay?
the game at the
So
end
let
when
me tell you
everyone
what.
was wondering what
Right.
he was doing as far as the time and
Right.
stuff. They're like, "Why are you taking so much time to call a play?" Because
Yeah.
everyone was gassed. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah,
No.
that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So that solidified thing. I don't care what kind of a flake or weirdo or egotist or attention whore Terrell Owens may be to anybody else,
Baller.
but that guy was a BALLER
100%.
baller.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay?
One more thing back to the-
grown ass man,
Back to the coaching. We can't ignore the other side.
and he always
Shanahan.
backed his quarterback. Yeah,
In terms of being a part in the elite group, he will be if they win today, the only father-son combination coaches to win a Super Bowl.
Shanahan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's a young coach. You know he's going to be in this game a long time.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
just setting himself on that same path
he already has
as
a
the other
coaching
quarterbacks.
tree.
Yeah,
And he's
so,
another one that's brought multiple quarterbacks that really aren't upper echelon quarterbacks to
Correct.
a Super Bowl. I mean,
100%.
that's impressive as well.
100%.
Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah.
That's all you have to know.
Yeah.
And he wasn't the coach when the Niners had
Kaepernick?
Kaepernick, was he? Was he? Was that his like first year coaching, or who was that?
I don't know.
No, I haven't
That was
heard anybody say.
Harbaugh, yeah,
Oh,
you're right.
okay.
No, that's right. That's
Harbaugh.
Harbaugh's boy. Yeah,
Yep.
you're right. Well, we talked about the coaches. Now let's get into some of the game.
All right.
Pick 262, Mr. Purdy, right? At one point, I had him as the MVP this year. And because I knew how the team was playing, and again, the story and 262 and all this other stuff. He's the real deal. The analogy that I mentioned to you yesterday, John, about if you took the names off the pieces of paper, all right, off the jerseys, and you were to put titles on these two guys, let's call one guy a slinger, let's call one guy a game manager, okay? Now, let's look inside the numbers. You would assume, using those two titles, game manager would be Purdy, right? Slinger Mahomes? Mm-hmm. It's the exact opposite. Purdy's the one slinging the football. Look at the Niners score sheets this year. 40 points, 38 points, 35 points against good teams, right? The Chiefs, we've been talking about how good their defense is. And if you look inside Patrick's numbers, especially in these bigger games, his touchdown to interception ratios aren't very good. They're not outlandish. He's not turning the ball over, but he's not throwing 3 touchdowns a game. As a matter of fact, in the last 6 games, I think he only has 7 touchdowns throwing the football. Okay, so again, take the names off the sheet. And let's reintroduce what I said was who's the game manager and who is the guy that's slinging the football. It's Purdy that's out there moving the ball down the field. Even Mahomes recognized his game's changed. He's not the guy at this point, or even wants to be the guy at this point, that needs to put every play on his shoulder. It's run the ball Pacheco, who's been averaging 22 carries a game. It's on the back of the defense. The rookie corner, by the way, Pro Football Focus, ranked him.
Snead.
Ranked him second this year
And
overall.
McDuffie might be better than him.
And he's a rookie, okay?
Yeah, I know.
So the defense is really good. And again, for what it's worth, just some of the numbers. The reason why Purdy has been so successful is because 56% of his passes are between the numbers. That's the strength of that team. That's third best in football. And again, what that does is, in terms of between the hashes, just another stat they used, he has the highest passer rating of any quarterbacks between the hashes. That's pretty good, right? I mean, for a guy that we're maybe considering, on the flip side of that, a game manager, even though he proved he wasn't. Listen, the story is really, really good right now with Purdy and the Niners and the coaching and what you said about how Shanahan puts all of his players, including the young guys, in the best position to be successful. Now, flip side, real quick, Mahomes. Now, again, back to Purdy just real quick. 21-5 career record, okay, as a starter. 3 games during this year. That's pretty good, right? 3 games this year without one of their key pieces, Debo, were 3 losses in that.
Yep.
Imagine if he's healthy. That win-loss record looks retarded, right? Now, okay.
One more game. One more win.
Yeah, at least. Now, Mahomes on the flip side. I mean, what other superlatives can you put on this guy? Right?
Made chicken salad out of chicken shit.
And that's been his MO, all right? Now, I don't think Purdy's that guy. I'm not saying he is. And I'm not trying to draw the comparison as one better than the other.
Right.
But we're looking at matchups. You're looking at how these games are played. And what I always throw out there is game script, is how these games develop and what changes are made, and then how the outcome depends certainly upon that. And, again, the magician Mahomes, like you said, 88-25 career record. The dude is a beast. Playoff record.
Yep.
We said last week, coming into the last show with he had, he was 14-3. Now he's 15-3.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and these are against the most elite teams at that point in the season.
DGAF.
All right,
Who
so
does not give a fuck.
when I was looking at these stats and breaking down, these sorts of things about where these teams are successful and how the defenses match up, it's like strength against strength on almost every category. So it really is going to depend upon the
And
coaching.
who rises above.
And who rises above and who makes the least amount of mistakes. Let's look at sack rates. Mahomes was the second least quarterback sacked in the league this year.
Slippery fucker.
3.7% on dropbacks. Okay? The guy's not getting sacked. He's also not turning the ball over either.
I was just going to say, he hardly throws picks, and he hardly throws them in the playoffs.
And by the way, breaking news, all-pro guard Joe Tooney is not going to play today.
The one big injury.
He is out.
Yeah.
For KC.
I feel, for KC. I feel horrible for that dude, man, because imagine like one of the biggest games of your entire life,
and you can't
one of the
play.
biggest events of your entire life, and you can't go because you tore your pec.
Yeah.
And you can't just rub some dirt on it. You can't inject it with lidocaine. You can't take a painkiller and get out there and suck it up for 3 hours. No, you tore your pectoral muscle.
Yeah, it's over.
Okay,
Surgery,
so that's
done.
Yeah, I mean, you can't. I've pulled and strained a pectoral muscle, and let me tell you, it ain't good. It ain't good. I mean, it hurts when you fart. I mean, it's bad. It's almost worse than breaking a rib, which I've also had. But anyway,
Let me
he's
just
gonna
read
be
through
out.
some
There's
of
your breaking
these.
news. Back
Yeah.
to what you were
No, it's
talking about,
good.
the sack rates.
Johnny, then I'll get to you. But just numbers again, how I'm trying to say that. You find an angle, and then you can defeat the angle from the other's perspective.
Right.
So here's an example. I mentioned how successful Purdy has been in terms of throwing in the middle of the field. Okay, the Chiefs rank 5th in DVOA against the team's opposing number 1 receivers. Okay, so they're not getting open. And again, I mentioned how good their cornerback is. Pro Football Focus, Snead, second best in the league. Here's something about the 49ers defense. They're number 1 versus passes over the middle of the field. So when you talk about Mahomes' success, it's Kelsey trying to find the zone. It's Rice trying to find the zone. What angle are you taking?
You're going to see strength on strength today.
It's really, it's impressive how these things all play out.
Well, I mean, listen. Speaking to your numbers, and speaking of Snead and McDuffie, okay, those two little monsters, by the way, which I think I'm older than both of them put together.
Probably, yeah.
And Snead's a little thief. Just ask Tyreek Hill, unbelievable strip against
he's
the
the one that
Dolphins.
stripped the ball,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
thievery, total thievery.
He's a smart football
I hate
player.
him,
He
but
is.
As a rookie,
good
dude.
play.
He's a
Yeah,
smart dude, bro.
yeah,
He is. He's a
exactly.
smart
They
football
hit
player.
huge on him.
He's the next Revis.
Yeah,
very
whoever
well could be. Yeah.
whoever specifically said draft that guy, he needs a bonus,
Yeah.
or she needs a bonus. I don't care who it was.
Could be a she
But
these days.
Those two kids, okay, get ready for no Debo. Okay, the only way Debo's going to make a splash is if they hand him the ball. If
I
he
think
gets
they're gonna
carries.
move him a lot.
They
They're
are
going to have to move him around a lot.
Yeah, they're gonna
They're
move
going to
him.
have to. And guess what though?
Yeah.
One of those two is going to be on his ass. You're going to see either McDuffie or Snead. You're going to go in motion this way. Oh, and look, 22 right there with you. Okay, they're going to look to shut him down, and then Ayuk is going to have his hands full with the other one, whichever one it is.
It's going to
okay?
be. That's
They
why.
are the reason why Kansas City can play so
Right.
much man, because
Yep.
you can trust those two
Yep.
guys to at least really slow down
Yep.
whoever they're guarding. Yeah.
Yep, and then you got Chris Jones and Karlaftis, the kid from Iowa, who has been an absolute terror since he hit the league.
Yeah.
I mean, you're looking at a bad situation for Purdy, but you are looking at a good situation for George Kittle bets, any sort of props that you may have with him.
Yeah.
Okay, Kittle's going to have a big day. I think both tight ends are going to eat. They're going to feast. I really do.
What's a big day? Catches and yards. What are you thinking here?
Catches and yards for Kittle.
Well, because
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
Kelsey's big day is bigger than Kittle's big day.
Right.
Unless Kittle gets in the end zone twice.
Right.
Which he could. He can go 5 for 60 and 2 touchdowns. That's
Right.
a
Yeah,
very
in the
likely.
red zone, use him a lot,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. But
Right.
Kelsey is the 10 for 140 and 2 touchdowns.
So would you
Yeah.
say 6 catches, 80 yards is a big day?
For Kittle, yes.
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 Huge
And
day.
throw a touchdown on it, too.
Okay.
Throw a touchdown on it, too. But for Kelsey, it's just like Matt said. It's going to be, 9, 10, 11 catches, 110 yards, 1, maybe 2 touchdowns, because he is the straw. Okay? Listen, you've seen it throughout history that Andy Reid offenses have the big three. They have the big triangle, okay? They have one receiver that is the alpha, they have the quarterback who is the alpha, and you have a running back who is the alpha.
Well, the tight end, obviously. You have
Okay.
to count
Well,
two.
now what we've had is a tight end, and when they were in the Super Bowl 3 years in a row, they had a really good wide receiver
Hill, yeah.
and then another good wide receiver on the other side. Remember, don't forget, Sammy Watkins has a Super Bowl ring,
Yeah.
and he was critical in those playoffs in Super Bowl. So what you have is you have a situation where he maintains his big three, and now all of a sudden we see Rashee Rice coming up. Okay,
Well, here's the target
it's
share.
another big 3, 3.5, big
On what
4.
you're saying, the target
Okay,
share in
so-
the playoffs so far this year has been
Yeah.
52 targets combined for
Yeah.
both Kelsey and Rice,
Right.
and 39 for the rest of the team.
Right.
So it's clearly the triangle. It's clearly Pacheco with his 22 plus carries,
Right.
and then these two guys eating on zone coverage.
I'm high on Pacheco today.
So I mean, volume.
I'm
I am
high on Pacheco today.
This game, I'm telling you, it's so difficult because of the pluses and the minuses, and they just every angle they just seem to just cross out.
And
So-
that's when, in other words, what you're saying is line up, hat on hat, snap the damn ball
Didn't
and
play it.
fucking get after it.
Didn't play it,
And
yeah.
guess what?
Yeah.
My money's on the champs.
Yeah.
Well,
My
Matt,
money
you went
is
over a lot
squarely
of
on the
Purdy
champs.
numbers. I want to go over some of Patrick Mahomes' numbers in the last 3 Super Bowls. So I know a lot of people
Yeah,
get
and give
caught
me
up.
that guy too.
A lot of people get caught up in the allure of Mahomes, and I think that a lot of you think that they're winning these games off of his arm, and they're actually getting the.
Hey, I'm
winning
not
games
caught
off.
up.
So let's go through 2020. His first Super Bowl, I'm not going to hold against him too much, but still, he was already rolling by then. 26 of 42, all right. 286 yards, all right. 6.8 yard average, 2 TDs, 2 interceptions, sacked 4 times. I'd call that above average game, but nothing spectacular, especially with 2 interceptions and 4 sacks. Now the next game, 2021, they absolutely get smashed by Tampa. 26 of 49, not good. Okay, 270 yards is all right. Only 5.5 average, 0 TDs, 3 interceptions, 3 sacks. Okay, 2 interceptions, I'm sorry, and 3 sacks. Now in the first Super Bowl, they ran for 129 yards. Second one, 107. Third game, 21 to 27, great as far as completion percentage, but only 182 yards. Only 6.7 yards in average, 3 touchdowns, and 0 picks, which is, I think his rating was something like 120. But they rushed for 158 yards. Mm-hmm. So, like, if they can stop the run, which I don't see San Francisco doing, but if they can somehow hold Pacheco and the team under 80, this is going to put a lot of pressure on Mahomes to win this game against a very good defense. And this is the best defense he's versed so far. San Francisco's defense back in 2020, I guess they played in 2021, but it'd be the 2020 team, 8th. Tampa's 8th. Eagles, 8th. I don't know how that worked out, but it's weird. And then now they're 2nd. San Fran is the 2nd best defense in the NFL. If Mahomes has to win this game on strictly his arm and they can't get that running game going, San Fran has a real shot at winning this, fellas.
Here's a just another stat. Here's a catch rate stat on the Niners defense that you mentioned. We talked about if them playing the zone. Kelsey eats in the middle of the field. Rice going to eat inside the zone. They're at a 53% catch rate over balls in the middle of the field. Okay, San Fran's defense. League average is 67%. So they're not. That's a considerable difference. They are number 1 in the league against passes over the middle of the field. Now you know Kelsey's not running any go routes, so he's going to be running a lot of posts, a lot of hooks,
He runs go routes.
Right. He goes to the soft spot in the zone and sits and waits for Patrick Mahomes to find him, which is fine. It works perfectly fine.
Yep.
He's going to build a Hall of Fame career off that.
I mean, Gronk wasn't a burner either,
Yeah.
You just get a big body
But
in there and shadow.
Johnny mentioned one thing, which is really, really smart take, is that when those two guys have been together for so long, they know what they're going to do. You hear this all the time in sports, that combination, that magical pair. It's clear these two guys are on the same page, right? Not an argument there. I believe that there are many occasions where Kelsey's running 2 routes in one, which means that he understands the coverage. He lines up and he looks across the field and goes, I'm going to go here. And then Mahomes knows he's going there. Now, let's call that spot A. As soon as the play breaks and as soon as the coverage changes or a safety drops into a cover 2 or whatever the case may be, play 2 goes into effect, which means that now the offense is already on to play 2. The defense has to react a second time. And in that situation, it's advantage Mahomes and Kelsey. And that's been the success on what they've built their careers on. And that could be very well the success in today's game.
Tearing that ass up.
Yeah, I mean, because that's what they do. And when you're as good as the Niners defense, as good as anybody will be, it's a first read game, okay? It's get an advantage in the first read. When you start getting into the second read on defense, the offense has already made the first adjustment, and now you're chasing. And the offense with these two guys, advantage offense, advantage Chiefs.
No doubt. I've seen it on the sidelines during games where they're mic'd up, and there'll be certain plays where Kelsey will do something like that, and all of a sudden when they get to the sidelines, you'll hear Patrick Mahomes go, man, I knew you were going to break the route left, and it wasn't supposed to go that way because these two know, I know Kelsey knows if this guy drops.
Yeah.
They're psychic.
And, Brady had this with, like, Edelman. Like, there's been times where, like, Edelman will break a route early because he sees that this is going to be locked up, and Brady sees it too, and that's why these guys, like, I think Edelman is the one that holds the most receptions in a Super Bowl altogether.
It's either Edelman or Welker.
I think it is Edelman.
14.
Yeah, I think it was 14 catches.
Yeah.
So You don't get that way by running the route that you're supposed to run all the time.
Exactly.
Sometimes you have to sit early or you have to go late, and these two just know each other like that.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you're a linebacker trying to guard that, now you're like, even if I guard the right thing that I've studied on tape, he's just going to take it the other way, and Mahomes has already got the ball released.
But let's
It's just
look.
smart football, man.
Okay.
It just is.
You have to assume Shanahan knows this, right? You have to assume
You better double Kelsey.
if you're the number. Well, but you may be able to do that because the other guy you're concerned about that's getting the team's other target share is another rookie receiver. So you could man up that rookie receiver.
Who, Rice?
Yeah, and again,
He's getting pretty good over the playoffs.
Oh,
too.
okay, but what's happening is that when you
I told y'all, watch out for that.
I'm
kid.
not saying they're going to take Kelsey out of the game, but he has to be the focus, right?
As
He
far
has
as the
to
defense focusing on him?
on the passing attack of
Bro,
the Chiefs.
I mean, come on, who else?
So if you have to put more of your resources in that bucket, you're able to because you don't have to worry about the amount of buckets you need now to fill in order to be productive. Because outside of what we illustrated, which is just Rice and Kelsey, who is going to be the third guy today that's going to step up in the passing attack if the Chiefs need somebody?
Pacheco?
In the passing attack.
Well, he's a running back. He
Yeah,
can get out there and
but you can't build a game
Blake
on that.
Bell.
If the Chiefs are down
Blake
10,
Bell, third string tight end, Blake Bell.
let's assume this game script plays out. Let's assume Kelsey has 3 catches in the first half and they're down 10. Okay.
Okay.
It's working. Shanahan's plan's working. Okay. Rice maybe makes a play and whatever the game. It's 13-3. Okay. Down 10. Who is the third guy that Andy Reid's going to go to in the second half and go, we need this guy to be a part of the – is it MVS?
Kadarius Toney.
He's not playing. They just said he's not playing.
He's out now
He-
again.
He made some sort of Instagram post or whatever. He's not even eligible. He's not playing today.
All right, listen. Can we finally declare that this kid is a half an idiot, a Florida Gator
don't
moron?
talk about me like that, bro.
Another Florida Gator moron.
Who?
Kadarius Toney.
Okay.
Okay, the Gators seem to be. I mean, it's about. I would say it's a clear-cut one third of their players that come out of that program and they hit the NFL. And they hit a more public persona. I mean, this is not even saying the guys that are washouts or guys that don't make it to the league. But you see these kids come out and do just high profile. It's like, are you okay?
Yeah.
Who taught you this?
But see-
I mean, for every Anthony Richardson, which by the way, that kid is
just gonna
fantastic.
say-
Everybody just raves
That
about
boy's gonna
him,
be good.
and I totally believe.
Stay healthy.
Okay, but you cannot tell me that there's something going on in Gainesville where they're taking in these miscreants and trying to hide the fact that they're head cases and they're dingbats. Oh, they can run a 4.2 40. Okay, and they can break a tackle and they can catch a football, but they're morons.
But these teams,
Why are you putting morons out?
the teams that are drafting these sorts of players have to have some sort of culpability.
I'm serious.
They're
right?
chasing these kids since high school. Okay,
Right.
They know everything about these kids based on their social media, based upon everything that's being done to watch these kids, and they see them for years. There has to be patterns in the behavior.
Dude, listen, we're talking about Joe Tooney, okay? There's got to be a bone sticking out. I'm playing. There's got to be a bone sticking out. There's got to be like with him, a muscle completely torn off of my sternum, okay, rolled up on you like that. I mean, I gotta be dead. It's got to be life threatening for me not to play in the friggin' Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Okay, because you can put a soft cast on it, inject it with lidocaine, give me a couple of perks, and I'm hitting the field. And make sure you have the perks ready at halftime, because I'm not coming out the game.
Yeah.
Okay, it's the fucking Super Bowl.
So here's my question
Rub
then.
some dirt on it and play.
How did Tony play in college? Was he
He was
good?
Yeah.
So then what's the problem?
He's another Percy Harvin, who, by the way, was another head case.
But literally, he had head migraine problems. Like Percy could play, and he
Right.
proved that he could. And if that wasn't
That was
messing
a-
with him,
yeah, that was a
I think he's a
physical thing.
much better player than that. This kid, obviously, it's a lack of concentration or wherewithal, or I don't know what it is, but he clearly has the skill to play. He obviously proved it in college, but now he's Jamarcus Russelling. What is the problem? What do you guys see?
That's my point. Is
Drugs,
these teams,
alcohol.
But again, these teams,
Oh, here we go.
especially teams like the Chiefs,
Women.
you would think would
All of that
understand
shit.
the situation and have at least an attempt at a remedy.
I know.
And at this point in
Yeah.
the season, it's almost a distraction because they're clearly deficient for the next guy that we're trying to find.
Right.
He
So
could
how
have
do you
been
blame
that
the
next
team
guy.
for that, though? You're seeing with your eyes in college the kid can play. You don't know that he's going to come in here
Dude,
and
you
get
had a 2-year body of work with the New York Giants, for Christ's
Yes.
sakes.
Oh,
where
see,
guess
you
what?
guys-
He was hurt half the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. He played like 9
That's
games in a
right.
row in his rookie year. Remember, and he was
drafted by
Yes.
he
Kansas
was
City.
the
Talk of
darling
the
of
town.
fantasy football.
Yes, he was.
I mean, and let me tell and I know
Right for it.
because I picked him up on 2 teams, and he had 3 great games. I was like, oh, Kadarius Toney, he's the next big thing
On
in New
the
York.
Giants. Of
On the
all
Giants,
things. Yeah. Who were
making
I forgot
Daniel
about
Jones
that.
look
Yeah.
good.
Kansas City
Okay.
didn't draft him.
Right.
That's right.
And then
Okay.
that fool sprained his ankle. And I think that's where the Percocet started. But he sprained his ankle, and he's been all downhill from there. He hasn't been able to play 4 games in a row since.
Yeah.
And
Well,
even when he does, he doesn't make a massive impact
And they
at all.
traded. Well, he made an impact in last year's Super Bowl. I mean,
Well,
he
that's
was
one game.
he was a big reason why they won the Super Bowl. His 65-yard punt return was it? I think it was a
Yeah.
punt return or a kick return.
You know-
He made a dent in the Super Bowl. He's got a ring, but
listen, for them to pull
Something
him off,
there.
for him to pull him off the Super Bowl today without an injury,
right, healthy
sa-
scratch.
says a lot. There's a
Yeah.
lot going on there. There's a lot
That's
that's
Andy
been
Reid.
said. Yeah.
Especially when you're hurting at receiver.
And so that's to me, that's the tell. That says to me there's a bigger issue going on that we probably will find out at some point because they'll ask, especially if the Chiefs don't win, especially if they struggle in that spot where we've mentioned. Clearly that'll come out at some point. But there's a big issue there at some point.
It's
So-
all about ability.
all right, moving on. From
It's all
Tony.
about ability, and it's like, okay, your ability is
a lot
around
of
40.
It's a lot of Kadarius Toney coverage.
Yeah, I was going to say we've devoted enough attention to him. Okay, what are we moving on to here? Because I don't think we're going to take a break.
What about awards, man?
Well, we still
awards.
awards and then props, or props and then awards.
Go with awards.
I mean,
No,
we got to
and
get
strong.
into the degenerate gambling
Oh
stuff.
yeah, we're going to end certainly with the props of the gambling.
Yeah,
side.
they
So
got you.
talk about some of the
And
awards
get
this
your-
year.
Hey, get
The
All right,
old,
do we
get
feel
your
like
pen and
Lamar
paper
Jackson
out.
should have won this thing, man?
what?
Do we really feel like Lamar should have won this award?
I can say yes. Yes, I listen. I know that there's been such an onus. By the way, big shout out to my friend Brendan Horn, who is monitoring his daughter's Girl Scout troops cookie drive in front of, I guess, a Publix. Are you in front of a Publix? Bro? What are
definitely
you
a
doing?
Publix.
Yeah, probably a Publix.
Probably my
those,
Publix.
Those cute,
I'll see you in a little while. I want
those
the peanut
cute
butter
little
cookies.
pushers.
Yeah.
Victimizing fat people all over the place and skinny people too. But by the way, I need the Do-si-dos. I need a box of those. So big shout out to you guys and the Girl Scouts. I don't know what troop number you are, but shout out to you guys. Brendan, we're background noise, by the way. So I hope to God you're not playing this at a really loud volume, or maybe you got your Bluetooth in, because we're dropping F-bombs all over the place here.
Not
all right?
meant to be there.
And we're about to start talking about Taylor Swift in a little bit. So back to the MVP. Okay. I see too much hand wringing about this, Jeff. The big thing about the MVP is you get the MVP. That's usually a big number on an incentive clause in your contract. Okay, it's a big number. It really is. That's
For
the reason why
some.
it's a big deal.
For some.
But I don't think the MVP, because every year, what do we see? 5 guys that are really the most valuable player on their teams, most valuable player in their conference, the most valuable players in the league. And you could go ahead and argue that 4 other guys could have got it.
Yeah, easily
Okay,
each time.
easily.
Let me ask you questions. Who won the MVP 3 years ago?
Me.
Who won it 5 years ago? Who won it 8 years ago? Who won it last year?
I won it 8 years ago, too.
Okay.
Who did win it last year?
Who cares? That's my point. Is that I don't care. You don't know. I know stats like it's nobody's
Me
business.
too. I'm like, yo, I can name your stats.
Now,
Thank
I'm
you.
just going
Yeah.
to tell you that it just doesn't matter. These are awards, I get it, that have value, I guess, to the individual. Like you said, from a monetary perspective, the one award that means something to me is the Walter Payton Man of the Year award.
That's integrity right there.
That's an award they give out to the players that give back the most to the community, to the organization, to just everybody in general. They go about their business the right way, the best way. And this year it was one of my guys, Cam Hayward, defensive tackle for the Steelers. I think it's
6 times.
He's been nominated 6 times. I mean, the dude's just such a. If the world was full of Cam Haywards, it'd be a better place, flat out, right? And again, the other guys that were also. Each team nominates one player. And then they go into a hat and they go work through all the different numbers and find out. And then they get down to, I think, 2 selections, and then they pick the final one. So hats off to all the guys that were selected. Hats off to all the guys that do for what they do, not for just themselves, but
Alec
for
and Gold
everybody
for
else.
the Dolphins, yeah.
I'm sure you can put 200 guys in that category. It's aggravating to have to defend athletes about the money they make and about they're this and they're drug addicts and they're bad. The majority of it, just like in life, is not true.
Right.
Okay?
And Cam didn't grow up poor.
No.
He did not grow up poor. His old man was
a football player.
Ironhead Hayward.
Who, by the way, won the award himself as
exactly.
well. Yeah, 1 year back, whatever the hell year that was.
And he taught both of his sons, he taught all of his kids the right way to be, take care of people, because Ironhead grew up poor.
Yeah.
Okay, so eventually there is a connection to growing up in an underprivileged state, whether it be considered poor or destitute or whatever. Okay, there is a sort of an underprivileged state that is the basis, the ethic behind all of these people that do all these great works. They really do. Talking about Alec Ingold, fullback for the Dolphins. Okay, every event that deals with the public, okay, it's number 30 is the first jersey you see handing out turkeys. Number 30 is the first guy you see taking pictures with kids, okay, and it's made him beloved.
Yeah, hats off to all those
made
guys.
him beloved. I went to the Carolina game. They introduced the offense. Okay, he got the third biggest after Hill and Hill, Waddle, and Tua. He got a huge ovation. At fullback, number 30, Alliga. They lost their mind over the guy. Yeah. Why? Because he's all over Miami. Because he grew up Poe. Okay, and the $2.5 million that he's making, more money than he's seen ever in his entire life. Okay, so he knows he has perspective.
Lots of good stories.
Yeah, I mean, there's tons. I mean, there's so many good guys. I mean, you go back to the guys like Warwick Dunn. Okay, Warwick Dunn is one of the ultimate, Walter Payton Award winners. I mean, he's second only to Walter Payton.
He's building houses for people.
Yeah. Second only to Walter Payton.
J.J. Watt's another one during the Texas floods, gave tons of money and raised tons of money.
Well, and now he grew up blue collar. Okay, the JJ and TJ's dad, and there's another one. There's a third one, right there. How can you imagine growing up in a house with
those
those
fullback,
three?
plays for the Steelers.
Yeah, those three monster kids. Can you imagine growing up in a house with
Think
that?
about the food bills.
I was just going to say, could you imagine feeding them in high school and
today's food bills?
Those parents can retire now though because all their boys.
Well worth it.
Free medical care for
problem.
life.
It's like the Ball brothers in basketball. All the work you put into it is well worth it at this point.
She's going. She's going to Costco and she's coming out. You go to Costco and you see the big 120 pack of hot dogs, all beef hot dogs. She's the lady picking up 2 of those.
Yeah, really.
Okay, and it's like, what? Oh, we're having a little cookout.
Yeah. Me and my 3 boys.
240 hot dogs? Yeah, they're going to eat about 20 apiece. Yeah. They're like, well, who's your boys? Well, they're all football players in the NFL. Oh.
6'5",
and they come home to mama and daddy. It's there's a lot of ethic. I really love the fact that for every guy you see that just goes a little overboard and flashes his money and throws it around and acts like an idiot in public, you see these guys, and there's a lot of them in the NFL. There's a lot of them in the NBA. There's a lot of them in baseball, okay, especially doing work with their native countries. Mm-hmm. Guys that go back to the DR, guys that go back to Puerto Rico, guys that, go back to Venezuela for crying out loud.
Cuba, sending money
to Cuba.
The
Exactly.
Exiles, a lot of them.
So, you see these people that are they're paying it forward or paying it back and sticking to their roots. I love those guys. I love those guys so damn much it's not even funny.
I agree.
I really do. So, yeah, good on you.
I agree.
I think TJ deserved the award for Defensive Player of the Year, though.
I agree with that, too. Guy's unbelievable.
I do. I'm a Myles Garrett fan, and I still think TJ should
The one other award that we can mention, that John, you did the research, obviously Coach of the Year, I think that's the right pick as well. Stefanski for the Browns.
Either one of those guys, because it was between them and Houston. Listen, you couldn't go wrong with either one of those guys. One had a rookie QB as a rookie coach and won the division, I believe, right?
Yeah, Houston, yeah.
And then the other one had 5 different quarterbacks through the year and still won 11 games.
One of which was an Uber driver towards the end, and then they brought him off the couch. And they're like,
you couldn't go wrong on that one. I didn't care who you picked. So
I missed my voicemail message from him. The front office called me and said, "Can you throw?" They were looking for people.
Yeah,
and I'll tell you why I think they did get it slightly right. When you look at the rookie tandem of coach and quarterback, that has happened like 5 other times in the NFL where a rookie coach and them have made it to the playoffs. Never in history has anyone taken 5 different starting quarterbacks and won 5 games with those guys. It's like, bro, they could have threw me and Matt in there, and they would have been like, that's
Yeah.
another win. You know, it's like the guy just knows how
Yeah.
to put players in positions.
Well, yeah, we listen. We've seen this greatness before, but not with 5 quarterbacks.
That's a lot, man.
I mean, okay, and we go right back to our guy Don Shula. Okay, Don Shula won games with 3 different quarterbacks. The one year that Marino hurt his knee, okay, and he was out for like a month, and we had Ron Jaworski starting 2 games, and then Mitchell started 2 games, and then the following year you had Marino in '93. Marino blew out his Achilles, and that's when Scott Mitchell got to start the final like 11 games of the season and got himself a contract. Okay, so talking about coaches that can adjust to quarterbacks. Okay, and Shula was famous for doing that back with Baltimore. Okay, because he ended up putting his running back
Now you're
at
going
quarterback.
way back.
Okay, his running back, his tailback,
Yeah.
his halfback.
And the game before they invented the pencil,
I guess,
what they
right?
had is they
Right?
ran that wishbone
He
that
had-
they took off the.
He had Johnny Unitas, Earl Morrill, some other guy, and then some other guy started the other game, and they won that game, but got hurt, and he had to turn around and put his tailback because all 3 of his starting quarterbacks ate it, died, just about. For that, with the running back as the starting quarterback, the punter became the emergency backup, and Johnny Unitas, who had a broken ankle, actually taped up his ankle because he could and dressed for that game just in case.
Can you name all the Browns quarterbacks that he won with?
Ooh, let's see
Go
here.
ahead, I'm gonna give you the test here. You know 2 of them right off the bat.
Right, which is of course Flacco and
Watson.
Watson, which Watson's got to be like flummoxed, like, oh my God, I've got to do a lot better.
Worst trade in the history of
Oh my
He
sports.
don't
God.
have to do nothing. He's guaranteed $250 million.
He's still got to justify his money
Well, he's
he
not. He has no way to do that. His career's
between
over.
him and Joe Flacco, who played more like that money.
Joe
He was-
Flacco's first 4 games, he threw for 300 plus
Ding,
yards.
ding,
bro.
ding,
Deshaun
It's
Watson.
Flacco's like, oh my God, look at all these guys I got.
Deshaun Watson was terrible.
You know, I had
this
to
year.
look over at Watson going,
Maybe
Okay,
it's
here's a
maybe-
hint.
How-
PJ.
Washington.
right,
Walker.
PJ Walker,
Right.
Okay.
and the other kid, the hyphenated kid.
Yes.
Oh,
and I even forget his name.
Yeah,
Uh,
and he won with him. So listen,
Yeah.
it's not Donovan Peoples-Jones. I know that because that's a wide receiver. So yeah, all these hyphenated kids. Pick one.
And didn't have Chubb for
No.
more than half the
No.
season, which might be the second best running back in football.
Stefanski earned it.
So-
he earned it the hard way.
Yes.
He earned it the hard way. And if anything, you know what that does? That gives him the moral high ground to pull that team together next year and just be like total righteous indignation. We're going to kill everybody. Okay, and I wouldn't let Joe Flacco walk away.
I was
would
just
not
going
let
to
him
say,
walk
bro, you
at
better
all.
put him on the second string and I mean, I know you got to start Watson.
Put
That's
him a
lot of money to
recliner
play
on the
somebody, but
sideline. Give him a recliner. Make sure it's one of
Browns
those.
fans are hoping
sure
that
it's one
he
of
gets
those-
hurt next year so they can get Flacco back in.
Make sure it's one of those lifting recliners like my dad has for the old people, so he doesn't have to like use his legs to get up. But you make sure you put Joe Flacco in bubble wrap and stick him in the back.
Jeff Driscoll.
Jeff Driscoll.
I mean, guys,
Oh
come
my
on.
God.
What are we doing here? Okay?
Oh my
We got a
God.
Driscoll in the mix.
That's all I want to say is Jeff Driscoll.
Okay.
All right. One more little part of the game, and then we'll go into the props and the gambling
Okay.
side. We got to mention the kicking because, at least from my perspective, in a defensive-minded game, kicking is going to be very important. Butker has been a beast all year long. He is 7 for 7 of kicks over 40 yards.
He's going to kick 2 field goals today, at least.
So far in just the playoffs, he's 12 of 12 on the year over 40 yards, and he's 33 of 35 total on the year, both misses coming over 50 yards. Moody, on the other hand, not as good. 21 of 27 for the year, and he has 6 misses over 40 yards. So, advantage, kicking game, clear the Chiefs. And I definitely see a scenario where the kicking game is going to be vital in this game today.
Yeah.
Short fields, red zone attempts, all these things are all defensive-minded stats that I've seen, at least I'm leaning towards. So the kicking game and making sure that you get that 3 points when you need those 3 points, or you get the extra point when you get your 1 or 2 touchdowns today, crucial, very crucial. So we'll actually go over some of those props because I think we have one of us or two of us like some of the kicking
So let me
props
ask you
today.
about kicking then.
Hang on.
Go ahead.
I have breaking news. Taylor Swift has landed in Las Vegas.
Woo!
Did her show last night in Tokyo
Okay.
in front of 45,000 screaming Japanese girls. So go on.
Yeah. Well, good thing she landed. So, again, kicking key.
That's the apathy I love.
Defense is key. Everything is key. Let's get to some props, boys. Let's talk about the actual game. Where do you want to start?
I don't know. Let's start with one that may not be on your thing, but 4.5 field goals over under.
Total for the whole
Total
game?
for both teams.
Attempts.
Makes.
Wait,
That's
what?
5 field goals.
That's
Wait, what?
5 total field goals
Right.
today made.
between both.
Between
kickers.
both, yeah, not just one team, both of them.
I kind of almost like it because I think Butker can get 3.
I think teams move the ball, and in the red zone, it gets real stiff.
That's what I'm saying. It's
Yep.
going to be. It's 4.5 sounds like the right number.
I don't disagree.
I don't
I just
like
came up
it.
with that over my head.
I don't like it.
Well,
These-
I mean, listen. Some of these prop lines that we're taking them off of Hard Rock Bets, which, by the way, big shout out for Hard Rock Bets. We could use a sponsorship, dude. No problem.
Yeah, best
We'll
sports
promo.
sites ever, man. That's the best.
We're good
gambling
for you.
site ever.
We're hoes like that. But yeah, it's what is it,
bodies.
1.5. Well, the line is 1.5 field goals for Butker.
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes,
Over.
yes.
Yeah. Over
and I'll
1.5.
take the over
I
all
agree.
day.
I agree with that
I'm
too.
tempted to go 2.5.
Yeah.
So what is it on the? What is it for? What's his name for the other
Moody
kicker? Moody.
It's Moody.
Probably 1.5. I don't know.
so
I
then
haven't
there's
seen it.
3
That
right
is
there
a
total.
mood.
Yeah.
And you guys think 4, 5, definitely, maybe.
I think so.
I
But
don't even know if
Good
that's the right thing.
defenses.
But these are the prop. What I have here is I have 10 total bets. Now I'm not making these bets realistically, but I'm giving them to you so you can make lots of money at it.
There you
so
go.
here we go. Super Bowl prop bets. Purdy throws a pick today against that defense that we mentioned. Plus 100.
Sneed.
Check it.
All pro rookie Sneed.
McCaffrey anytime touchdown. Minus
100%.
220. Book
Taking
it.
that all day.
His
That's easy
his
money.
very first Super Bowl.
Lay the odds.
That's a left-handed
Lay
layup.
the odds.
He's going to kill people.
Now it gets weird. This is where I got a little creative on the rest of these. Any punt resulting in a touchback. Okay. Again, I'm on the defensive train here. A lot of punts, or at least a number of punts. And it's a numbers game. Okay. How many punts are in the league and how many touchbacks there are? It's probably about maybe 20 to 25% end up in touchbacks.
So
Yeah,
Gonzo's
but
not
tell him
liking
the
it.
odds. Tell him the odds.
the odds are plus 130. You're getting plus odds for one touchback in this game. I'll take it. I
Gonzo,
love
you
it.
don't like that, brother?
I love it.
I do,
I
bro.
love it.
I like that. All you need that bitch is roll in the end zone, man. That's it.
Now,
As long as it doesn't weigh down my parlay.
here is one that you're going to have some stones. 49ers need to score in both halves. Any score.
Yeah, but I don't know why.
A
that's
safety,
such stones
a field
bet,
goal,
like-
or whatever, because they're going to score in both halves. These teams are both going to score
Yeah,
in
but
both
you're
halves.
acting like you
Even as
gotta
bad
have
as the
balls
Chiefs
to
are.
make that bet.
Well, because it's minus 1,400. You have to basically, if you're risking $100 on that, which again you're going to win
Yeah, but that's what he
$14.
just said. That would bring down your bet, wouldn't it?
Go drag down my parlay,
Well,
man.
amazing.
But these aren't parlays though. And
I
that's-
know.
Oh, just single
Yeah, it's just
bets,
straight
and why
bets.
would you even
Well,
do
we'll-
it?
we'll
because
talk
you're going to
parlays in a
cash.
minute.
You're going to cash. All right, that's my now. This,
I put $100 on that. I win 14 back, right?
14 strong, baby. 14 strong. So
Clear.
how about
14
this?
Clear.
It's all yours.
I'm not dealing with
No
that.
taxes.
Bro.
No taxes. Last play of the game, a quarterback kneel. Somebody's got the lead. The
They're
other
running
team
down the
doesn't
clock.
get the
A
ball.
lot of games end this
How
way,
many
guys.
kneels? Minus 190. Okay, so they're figuring that's going to happen, but I'll lay minus 190 on that.
All right, Gonzo, does that bring your parlay down enough to you not make it? I'll make that bet
Better
of
not.
190.
At what? Plus 190?
Minus 190.
Minus 190?
Quarterback kneel.
To end the
Blech.
game,
You think the last play of the
Blech,
game is
blech.
going to be a
it could be a field goal or a Hail Mary or that. There's
I
only
don't
three ways
know.
you're going to really get
I'll
it.
take it. One more. Kittle or Kelsey, under 30 yards for
One catch.
For
Any-
one catch. I'm going no. I'm saying
going
they
under,
don't
too.
get there. Minus
No
110.
chunk play for either one?
No
Nah.
chunk play. And then one
They're
of
too
my
much of a
favorites, going back to some yardage props here. I like both quarterbacks to run the ball today. I think they're going to have to.
Run for their lives.
Mahomes, again, limited because, again, in terms of the weapons we talked about, and he's been on the move lately. He's 24.5 yards. Purdy is at 10.5 yards. We've seen Purdy on the move the last few games.
I don't know what y'all are talking about. I saw him move against, what was the team that he just played?
Green Bay.
Those linebackers looked
Yeah.
shocked as I was.
Yeah,
We
dude.
were not expecting him to zip by us like that.
He
Like,
looked
that
good.
boy can move when he's scared. I'll tell
Yeah.
you that.
Well, he's over that mark in his last 2 playoff games. So I'm going over there as
Yeah,
well.
over on
I
that.
tell everybody. I say, Mahomes when Mahomes takes off scrambling, he looks like somebody who got away with something. He looks like he looked like he stole something. Like I stole this football
Yeah.
and you can't have it. It's mine now. Blah.
Yeah. Those are my props. I feel pretty confident. I'm going to go 6-2 with those 8 props today. So
Okay.
if you want to make some money, get those. And
Now-
the other 2 that I like but I'll do at the end of the show is my prediction and then my over/under bet. So
Okay. Now let me ask you a question. How would you parlay those? Which would be a good parlay in the 3 or 4 leg type? Of which would you parlay those together?
I would
That's a good
Trying to
definitely,
get the McCaffrey one.
yeah. I mean, lay the odds on that. I like the touchback, guys.
I was just gonna say that would be
You
two that
just
I would
on
100%
that
do.
touchback.
plus
huh?
130.
Yeah, it's a plus.
It helps you.
It's not a minus. I'll give you that.
The running one, both running ones.
I do like the quarterbacks to both go
Yeah.
over their rushing totals. I think that 4-leg parlay gets you about 12 or 13 to 1. So plus 1,300.
Right on.
And that's okay. So,
Just doing a little technical check.
I was like,
Take it
what
easy.
just happened?
Take it easy. I was just doing a little
Yeah.
technical check.
yeah.
Go ahead.
I
So
thought you were doing a parlay on there. I was like, oh, we get to see what it would come out to be.
No,
I was waiting for the calculation.
How was?
no.
Okay.
I'm being a producer. I'm doing producer stuff. Sorry, I didn't mean to alarm you on your monitor.
Do you have any other specific props that you look at or that you're interested in, or just the
Not
size
really,
and
because I
total?
knew that you already had done a lot of the legwork, and I was like, yo, that seems like enough, man.
Well, let's talk about the game. I mean, let's
Well-
go. Wins, losses, total. What are we doing?
Well, listen. I want to craft like a 4 and a 5 and an 8 and a 10 leg parlay. Put $5 down on it. But I think that between the 3 of us, we can come up with a 10 leg parlay that could actually realistically come in.
They
I
got
really do.
tons of these things.
Yeah.
So
man.
many of them.
I
So
know.
many.
you
I
could
know.
throw a
Have
tails
fun,
in there,
but have fun
You
with
know,
it.
coin toss.
Listen, if you're wagering $5, $10, and you're going to throw in a 10 leg parlay, have fun with it.
Yeah.
Have fun with it because if you lose $10. If you win like 5,000.
A lot.
Okay,
And here's
a
one
lot.
for you Swifties or whatever.
So
There's
have
a
some
plus
fun.
450 to bet that she actually surprises you guys and comes out and performs one song in the halftime show. Now, she said in the beginning of the year she was not going to do that, but a lot has changed since then. And at plus 450, I mean, I wouldn't put money on it, but it's a possibility.
A Taylor Swift prop. I love it. Well, as a DJ, I can tell you that I, right off the top of my head, cannot think of any sort of collab that Taylor Swift has done with Usher, who is the actual
And
schedule.
I think he's only bringing the people out to collab with
Yeah,
him, right?
exactly. So unless she gets together with Usher and they work out a little verse thing where she shows up and they do a thing and Usher just sings along with her, da 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 da, okay, because she is the queen of pop music. Sorry, she is. I mean, Usher is huge, but guess who's huger? I still don't think it would really happen. I just don't.
I'm
How about
just putting
this?
it out there.
How about this?
She's not that type. Let's put it that
You
way.
said that she just landed, right? Half
Right.
hour ago?
Yeah.
Now, I know
They got time to work it out.
Oh,
was a
very much
long-
so. And she don't need practice. She's been on tour like this
Yeah.
whole time.
it was a
yeah.
long flight, obviously.
13 hours.
Still-
So
pro's pro.
the reason to get on that flight immediately and get back to Vegas immediately,
Make an appearance?
when there's 6 more hours to go before the actual game starts, she's got to get her ass in the booth. Maybe.
You
Maybe.
will see literal feces flowing down the steps of that place as thousands of little girls shit their pants in the stadium.
Or she
If
might just
shows
sing
up.
one verse of Usher.
And
She
it
might not
doesn't-
even
and
do
it
her own
doesn't matter.
song.
And you're going to hear it on TV. You're going to hear it across it. If you open up your windows, you'll hear off in the distance because some little girl or some teen girl or some girl who's grown up as a Taylor Swift fan for the past 20 years is going, or 15 years, is going to freak the fuck out because she's going to show up. And like you said, she's going to show up, she's going to do a verse, she's going to do a chorus.
30 seconds is all you need, and you get your 450. I mean, it's
Usher's-
possible, man.
Usher's going to be out there doing his Usher thing because Usher is an awesome showman. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
That boy can dance, and he's still
and
dancing.
yeah, and he's like, he's almost 50. He's almost our age, for God's sakes. But that man can entertain. And if you see Usher in the middle of the and you see come up at the end, ladies and gentlemen, Taylor Swift, blah! You're gonna hear the play-by-play guys scream in the booth. They're all gonna scream like little girls. And it's going to be huge, and you're going to hear traffic stop outside. You're going to hear cars tires screeching. Okay, because And that would be huge. That would be huge. And it's going to be one verse, one chorus. Bye-bye. And out.
Plus
Okay.
450.
450?
Plus 450.
Put that in the prop.
I'm not putting it in my prop.
I'm not either.
Yeah, it's not in my prop.
Just wanted to give you little girls
Yeah.
to get your daddy to be like, just put $10 on the spin.
I'll put it in Taylor Swift.
Yeah, just do it for me, Dad.
All right.
Oh, my God.
Here are my predictions for the game.
Taylor Swift.
I'm just going to throw it out.
Take the
there.
over.
I have been back and forth on this. for
Now
2
you're talking
weeks.
about who wins, and okay, now we're getting into the real
Dubs.
the real cake of it here. Let's go.
Everything that I've looked at, we've talked about the contradiction of the talent, of strengths against strengths, and it's really hard to find the angle. But for me, I've decided San Fran's been the most consistent, good team all year. We know we had that little bit of a dip early in the year when they weren't at full strength. We also, at least from my perspective, have to take in consideration that Shanahan is getting more and more confidence with Purdy in that offense. And Purdy has proven himself to be worthy of that, based on the record, based on his performances, based on the season. The Chiefs, on the other side, at times have been limited on offense. The stats tell me that things really have to kind of go their way. Their main guys have to be Superman today in order to probably come out ahead in this game. And it's tough to be Superman, all right? There's only one Superman, all right? So,
By the way, quick message from your wife on the chat rooms.
Yeah.
Who cares?
yeah.
So,
That's the Taylor Swift thing.
she's
probably.
really
Yeah.
going to hate the show after
Yeah.
we do the predictions.
Yeah, and I'm not a fan, but that's just a prop, man. I'm just-
Yeah, I don't
it's
care
out
either.
there,
you
you know?
know? She knows how I
Hey,
feel
you got to
about
go
it.
home
Yeah.
to her. We
I'm
don't.
so
She,
indifferent.
she'll just send me a mean text message.
Yeah,
But go ahead.
No, I'm so indifferent. But again, the Chiefs, calling them limited hurts, okay, because they're not limited by nature. They got the best quarterback in the world, okay? They got one of the best tight ends in the world. They're using their running back at a point now that he is maximum output for him.
Hey, you're closed captioned.
And we talked about Rashee Rice and his development as the season progresses.
Yes, he's
okay.
getting way better, yeah.
So the Chiefs aren't going to roll over and die just because the Niners are so good on defense and so good on offense. It's not going to happen. Okay, this is a game of the ages, perhaps in my opinion, but a defensive game. You're going to see some heads being smacked on that field today.
Wow. And now I heard you talking about this before the show. Now
Yeah.
you're going to put that out there.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
going to put it out there in the universe.
I'm
Okay.
saying that there are going to be some head smacking in this game. It's going to be a low-scoring game. I've seen some of the analysts' predictions as low as 9-6. I'm not going that low. I'm not going that low. But I will say the Chiefs today get 3 field goals from Butker. We get that over prop. And 1 touchdown. And it's not going to be enough. So I had the Niners winning this game. 23-16 is going to be the final score. 23-16 Niners.
I want to go back to your 9-6 thing real quick. It's not really that blasphemous because when you remember the Tampa Bay, was it the what was it, Rams and New England Patriots Super Bowl?
Yeah, Patriots,
like
Rams.
13-9 or something
Yeah,
like
it
that.
was-
And no one would have guessed it would have been that low scoring. So
And Ndamukong Suh had like 14 tackles, and anytime they tried to run between the tackles, whatever running back it was got destroyed.
it's not out of
Okay.
the realm of possibility, but I wouldn't put my money on that 9-6 thing. I mean, you're asking for a lot from defenses
Yeah.
to stop these two offenses. I mean, completely like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of
You were
offensive
kinda
talent
asking
on
for
that
a lot
field.
for the Rams and the Patriots offenses too, those defenses. But guess what?
Yeah, but
They
you got
showed up.
all right. Let's name the
Two
offensive.
minded here,
But
coaches. Though
that's it, true too.
Yeah.
But let's name the offensive Hall of Famers on the field right now. Okay, you
bunch.
got Mahomes.
Obviously,
You got Kelsey.
Obviously,
You have
Purdy.
Purdy yet. Again, it's early to tell,
Birds,
but you have
No, he's
Debo.
not there.
Debo playing at a Hall of Fame level.
Don't forget Brandon Ayuk. Brandon Ayuk is big.
No, I'm not putting. I say he's playing at a Hall of Fame level.
I'm like,
And Brandon Ayuk, let me tell you what, the establishment of Purdy as the starting quarterback has done wonders for Brandon
Number
Ayuk's career.
3, Pro
Yeah.
Football Focus.
Yes.
Okay, for Brandon
Yes.
Ayuk.
Okay.
That nobody talks about.
A very
Kittle?
bad man.
Kittle's a Hall of Famer.
Trent
Hall of
Williams.
Fame.
Trent Williams, a Hall of
all
Famer.
day.
That's a guaranteed. He's in. That Trent's in. They ain't playing
Right.
like it. He's in.
Right. Now, this offense, we didn't get to the defense. We're talking about the offense.
McCaffrey?
Got him.
Mac.
But there's
Okay.
probably 8-9 guys on this field right now that are Hall of Famers on both sides.
Who's the
Offense
linebacker
alone.
from San Francisco?
Well,
that's
offense
Fred
alone.
Warner, monster.
Well, defense, you can go Bosa. you can
Greenlaw,
go,
monster.
but they're all
Bosa,
Chris
monster.
Jones.
Yeah.
You can go all these guys. Offensively,
Chase Young is the worst guy on that defense.
a lot of talent
Yeah,
on the
oddly.
offensive side. So it's going to be hard for the 9-6 because there's so much talent offensively. But I'm digging my 23-16 pick.
That's not. Yeah, that's reasonable. I'm more with Gonzo. Go ahead. I want to hear Gonzo. 31-27.
He's way over on this.
Way over, excuse me, way over. Yes, 31-27.
That's way over.
Okay, which goes with lots and lots of field goals. Okay, which may actually be counterintuitive towards one of my prop bets, which is Harrison Butker kicking 2 field goals. So let's call it 30-27. Okay, so that I get my 3 field goals. And if we go with the psycho field goal, total field goals bet, which is 5, was it 5?
4.5.
4.5. We go 5, and then that hits that. So yeah, 30-27, with Butker kicking the game winner. How about that? I think the Chiefs are going to win it outright. I think the Chiefs, if it is close, Chiefs are going to cover the 2.5. It'll be a 1-point game. Okay, it's going to be a squeaker. If it's a defensive game, it's going to be a squeaker. If it's a blowout, it's still going to be a squeaker, but it's going to be by 3 points, and somebody's going to win at the end. Period. Yes, you're right. It's going to be a game for the ages. I think you're seeing strength on strength. I think you're seeing 2 coaching staffs that are at their peak. Okay, at their peak, one more established than the other, only slightly. Because you can't discount Shanahan. By the way, John Lynch, probably the executive of the year every year for the last 5 years. You can't discount that coaching staff because Shanahan's got a tree now. He's been there, 5 years? 4 years?
No,
5
Shanahan?
years. Shanahan, 4 years now?
2018. I think it's like 6
6
now.
years.
Yeah.
This is his 6th season?
Yeah.
He's got a coaching tree.
Yeah.
He's got a tree. Not counting Vic Fangio, who was his defensive coordinator at one time.
And it's pretty darn good.
And Vic was a DC in Chicago, and he got a head coaching job even. I wouldn't necessarily call him a Shanahan tree guy. But you have McDaniel, you have DeMeco Ryans. You have a coaching tree now. So, and it's going to get to be more of a coaching tree.
Win the Super Bowl, and your coordinators are going to find jobs in a few years. Yeah.
Well, there's no head coaching jobs to be had now.
In a few years, I said.
Yeah,
Within a few years, then those,
they're all snapped up
Yeah,
now.
that's what builds the tree builds
Yeah.
over time. So, yeah, for sure. Yeah,
You could even go by extension with the Dolphins. Frank Smith, who is the Dolphins' offensive coordinator, well, that's the McDaniel grabbed a hand on his way out the door and said, "You coming with me?" Why? Oh, well, I'm the offensive. I'm the quality control guy for the passing game. Well, guess what? Now you're my offensive coordinator, and since you're the passing guy, I'm the running guy. Now we're going to make our team and build our own offense, and that's what we got. And Frank Smith will eventually become a head coach too, because I'm hearing just great things about his mind, his ability to motivate and reach players. It's been huge. It's been huge for the development of Tua. It's been huge for the development of Thompson. It's been, these staffs, going back to, once again, the actual staffs that we're talking about, let's also think about this. Matt Nagy, former NFL head coach.
Yeah, the Bears.
With the Bears, well, he's the offensive coordinator for Kansas City.
Oh.
Okay? And he's not going to get another sniff for a head coaching job until he wins a couple of Super Bowl rings. But now here's his chance. Okay, so now here's his chance to get another Super Bowl ring under his belt. And you have, was it Jim Schwartz is the defensive coordinator? That's supposed to get a hell of a defense. With rookies. Okay, including a rotational rookie linebacker, a rotational rookie defensive tackle, and an all-pro rookie draft choice.
Yeah, the coaching right now in the NFL is as good as it's ever been.
Off the friggin' chain.
There's some bad ones though, but there's some good ones too.
Yeah, the bad ones get really bad really fast.
You can see it pretty clearly.
Yeah, the bad ones get really bad really fast. Yeah. Okay, I'll say this. Kudos to some of the owners and some of the general managers that noticed that you got a bad coach and you cut bait. Okay, I feel bad for Frank Reich. I think he's a great quarterback coach. I think he's a great offensive coordinator.
He'll find it.
But he was the victim of a bad owner and a bad general manager. He'll find a job like that.
Yeah.
You watch. Don't be surprised if he ends up in Philly as the quarterback coach. Okay, because Sirianni is his boy. That's his boy. Remember?
And Hurts took a step back this year.
Right.
Yeah.
And you see what did you see the first time Sirianni took the Eagles to Indianapolis right after they fired Frank Reich? And he ripped them. First of all, the Eagles housed them. Second of all, he ripped their crowd. He's like, yeah, that was for Frank Reich because you guys screwed him.
Yeah.
Okay, so don't be surprised if Frank Reich, who is a good coach, is going to come back.
He will work again. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm hoping for Carolina that they got it right, both with their GM and their head coach. You know, I kind of know Dan, their new GM, and he's a local hero here. And
Who's going to win the game? Give me a score.
Back to this game.
He said KC, right?
31.
KC 30-27.
Okay, 30-27.
30-27.
I like that.
23-16 San Fran.
So there.
Because you have
And
switched
you're
on me
the
three times
the
a day.
under. He's Mr. Under.
I am under today's game.
Under over is 47.
47.
47 and a
Yeah,
half.
2 and 47 was the latest line I saw.
23.
I got 2.5.
Yeah, you locked it in early. That's good.
Let's go 2023. I'll go under on it, and I got San Francisco winning.
You guys are a couple of losers.
That's my guy right
The
there.
hell do you know?
I'm good. Let's go. Come on now.
All right.
Yeah, F Taylor Swift.
All right. Now Taylor Swift?
No, I said
Now-
F Taylor Swift.
Oh, F Taylor Swift?
No, I mean,
No,
yeah, okay.
now Taylor Swift.
Now here, the last thing we'll end the show.
Taylor
on this.
Swift has landed.
What is the number? What's
Hey,
the
you guys
prop?
like my vacuum here in the back? I got my vacuum on full display here, right there. Hey, go
I
vacuum.
kind of like it. Wow, you should probably use it.
Where is he pointing?
It's clean.
All right,
Hey, what do you guys? I have a clean. I run a clean studio. God damn it.
Well, okay, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce still together in June.
Absolutely not.
I got it at still together in June.
Take the over.
Plus 180.
No.
All right, let me school y'all on something here, okay? Travis Kelce, before he met Taylor Swift, okay, he dated African American
We know all about
reality
it. Yep.
show stars, okay? Really pretty women, really successful women, okay? But he was seen as sort of a guy who was cultural appropriating. He seemed to prefer the African American women and the hip hop lifestyle and the hip hop fashion and all of that, and he still does. And honestly, and a lot of people like to use the W word, wigger. Okay, but no, he just
God, I haven't heard that word in
Right?
15
Exactly.
years. Like 20.
he
Like,
well, it's some of the stuff I heard from our people that are a little more hysterical. But what you do, wigger, so. This kid is already established in his life and what he has done. He's had a reality show where women were trying to date him. Okay, so now all of a sudden he wants to just stick with one girlfriend and a wholesome girl at that. Somebody who you will never see on a reality TV
A
show.
leopard doesn't change its spots.
Why? What is the leopard? What has the leopard done? Point to the doll and tell me where Taylor Swift hurt you.
No, and I'm not saying that. You're talking about Travis Kelce and
Yeah.
about how he was
he's a
one
dog?
way. No. And
'Cause
how
he was with the same girl for like 4 or 5 years.
what I'm saying
He
is
can do really. He can
follow
do
the
relationships.
logic here. A
Yeah.
leopard doesn't change his spots.
Right.
The analogy means that
Right.
once you're a leopard, you're always a leopard. Easy
Right.
to spot in the jungle. They got the spots.
But you'll never be a vegan.
Kelsey is a guy who, like you said, likes a preference of a certain way, but understands now that monetarily, maybe that certain way wasn't as good as it is now. And the marriage is a financial marriage as opposed to a real relationship. So, from a betting perspective, now I don't care if they go and have kids. I really don't.
Right.
But
yeah, I
I'm-
don't think many people
Neither do I. Really,
I don't really
but
care.
I don't
I like
care.
trolling the shit out of people
But
that don't like it.
I'm coming up with a line, and the line's plus 180, and that they're still together in June, and that's all I care about.
So let's take what you're saying. He is established that he likes black women or whatever. He likes
Apparently.
right. You know he has. He's
Yeah.
absolutely right.
He
I've done a lot of
has?
research
Okay.
on this.
Hey, who doesn't? Go
Okay.
ahead.
So he has established that. Now Taylor, look wise, is the exact polar opposite.
180.
Okay. Now I've seen his ex. She's thick, fat ass, all the things that you look at in like an Instagram model, right?
Fine as hell.
Now,
Oh.
Taylor's different. She's worth $1 billion, so there is that upside to this or whatever, but it's not like Travis needs it. Now, on the other side, this is why I'm saying no, because they're both going to go different directions.
I'm saying no, too.
Her whole career is, I can't keep a man, let me write a song. So at the end of the day or whatever, no matter who the hell she's dated, a musician, a this, a that, last a year, gone, next. It's just, this is how we're
I
going.
can't get your camera to get on here. We're
Boom!
missing-
I'm just letting you know right now. That's what it is. She doesn't keep men, and her whole career is based off of that.
Dude,
whether
dude.
she breaks up with them or they break up with her. Travis has established you are not my type. So what is going on here? So it's like
do the shake it off. Do the shake it off.
I'm not doing any of that.
Plus
Okay,
two,
that might-
plus 220, plus 240. The line's going up as we speak.
I'm telling you, on both sides, this just doesn't match.
Yeah.
It just doesn't
No,
fit.
I'm on more. I'm 100%. So the line is now
All right.
jumped to plus 240. I
right.
recommend you take it.
All right.
That's a made-up bet, by the way,
That's
from
it.
Matt. So
He's
go
just
to
making shit up.
mattus.com and go bet that.
We can't even troll with a
You're
straight
going to have
face.
a bunch of people going, Matt said it was on here. No, it's not.
What did
$50,000.
you say? June? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's listen. The more you whine and object about it, the more I go poke, because it's so innocuous.
And again, I don't care. If,
yeah,
if we're
exactly.
wrong and they last 7 years,
Who
it doesn't
cares?
affect my
We're
life.
talking
But
about
if
the
we're making bets
relationship.
here,
Yeah.
all right, let's make a bet here. Let's
I got to come up with a line. It's my job.
We're ready to bet on it. We'll bet on anything. Bet, bet, bet,
Apparently, we're
bet,
betting
bet,
on
bet,
aliens and the Super Bowl being tied, so I don't know if we can bet this.
Bet,
So
bet, 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 bet.
So bad.
100,000 to 1 on the
So
aliens
bad.
invading.
So bad.
Why this Super Bowl out of all
Let me
Super
check.
Bowls? Look at my boys. Look at them right now. Oh, Fred Flintstone.
We're ready.
You're not in the shot.
We're ready.
There you
We're
go.
ready. We're ready to bet. Bet, 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 bet. Shout out to my good friend Buck Steele, by the way, who lives out in Pahrump, Las Vegas, who's staying in Pahrump, Las Vegas, because he's already got too many shirts out there where he is now. But he's the guy that made this. Okay, back in 1983. Okay, made this for our poker game that we had on a regular basis every weekend, every Saturday night or every Sunday night we had a poker game. And he made this for us. It used to have cards sticking up here, and it used to have a bubble saying, bet, 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 bet. This is from the classic Flintstones episode where we found out that Fred had a gambling problem, and he couldn't control himself.
Look at his eyes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Dilated, or
Yeah.
excuse me, constricted pupils.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
He's on reverse Molly.
that's endorphins right there. That's bet. So yeah, a big shout out to him. I mean, this thing is ancient, dude. This is
How
like
long have you had
40
this?
years.
40 years.
1983, dude.
40.
Before I was
1983.
born, bro.
Yeah, I know.
Do you know who Fred Flintstone is?
Man, stop. Right? I walk around barefoot because of him.
God. You know, let me tell you something, both of you guys. Okay, it's been a pleasure to do this show through this football season because we've had such a great time. You know, we do this for the love of the game. We do this for the love of sharing the information with you. You know, the 5 or 6 of you that do share in the information. And for those of you who know and have successfully used the information, you're welcome. I know we've won you money. I know because we won money. So if you're listening to us and you know, make sure you tell somebody who knows. Okay, we see lots of shows out there, either on the internet or on network TV or on streams, and they're good shows. They're fine shows, but we think we can hang. We really do. We really think we can hang.
Especially
And
at picking against the spread. All
Yeah.
of us crushed most
Yeah.
of these guys that are getting paid $1
Yep.
million. I
Yep.
mean, we really did this year.
Yep. Because listen, you see a lot of these wagering pundits. They also have a little bit of motivation from their sponsors to include some of their action in their sponsors and to sort of tilt things towards their sponsors. Okay, not to say that your information is compromised or anything, but we understand. You know, we're here. We're a hobby show. Okay, and if we had some sort of organization that sponsored us and gave us, $10,000 a spot for every show, well, we might be nice, say something nice, but
Maybe.
we don't have to. We can come with straight integrity. Period. Okay, period. And I just want to take the opportunity to thank you guys. I mean, I've been thanking these listeners and viewers all year, but I want to thank you guys for coming along and doing this show with me this year because it's a riot. It's been nothing but fun. Okay, so thank you.
Well, I want to say something too, man, because you beat me to it. I was going to do this, but
Ha-ha,
we all
I
should.
win.
For the viewers that don't know, we all worked at the same club together for a couple of years, became good friends pretty quickly, and then kind of lost contact for a couple of years. I mean, we
COVID.
really didn't talk. And out of the blue, man, me and Matt just started picking this up, and he invited me onto this show with Gonzo. And I got to tell you, man, every Sunday, this has been like the highlight of like the week, man, is studying for this thing, coming here, betting against the spread, goofing off like we do every once in a while. And I also want to thank you guys for inviting me on here, because this would have been the last thing in the beginning of football season I would have thought I would have been doing.
Yeah.
So this has been a blast, man. It has.
All right, my turn. Real simple. John, you're a great
Don't
ad.
cry.
You're a great ad. There's
Don't
no
cry.
question about that. Not just as a friend, but as a contributor to the show. And Gonzo, obviously, you know the depth of our friendship goes back a while, and it'll always be there. So I appreciate you as well. So, yeah, thanks, guys. And thanks for the audience
This
as well.
is awesome, man.
So,
Thank you all for listening, because I like to go back and see how many of you guys had made comments and stuff like that. And hopefully next year we grow, man.
Yeah.
Because this has been real fun.
Well, next year, listen, next year is a different animal because, you know, lives change. You know, I'm on a little bit of a career path as far as real estate and real estate investment. That side of it is going. Which, by the way, want to buy a house? Give me a call. Or Matt. Go ahead, Matt.
Me too.
Me too. So what I am saying is that the future of this, the future of the Gonzo Radio Sports Desk, the Gonzo Radio Network, still going to stay alive. Still going to be sort of a suspended animation until we get a set and solid location. We know that with the podcasting technology that's available now, that we can start doing things from our homes, on our phones, and things like that. And Andrew is going to get involved with that too, by the way, which we were missing Andrew Lawson. I think he is a talent. I think he is a guy who not only is he smart as hell, but I think he's a talent, and he's got the voice he's got to do. Where is that little dude, and he's got this deep voice, like he talks deeper than me. And I mean, my voice can come from the bottom of my liver, for God's sakes. And this kid talks like he's got a hollow leg.
Yeah, Andrew's a smart kid.
He's
He
a
really
smart
is.
guy,
He's a smart
man.
guy.
We really, really like him, and we really wish that career wise, he's got a day job, and he's a responsible day job. But what's probably going to happen here as we get into baseball season is that you guys are going to go ahead and start having your own online presence type of phone interchange shows.
Yeah, we've been doing the lives.
And putting on the Gonzo Radio Sports Desk group or page. Make sure you put them on there. Make sure you're on there so that we're going to get into baseball, and we'll come back from time to time and we'll do shows to really kick things off. I know we're going to do a baseball kickoff show because I love baseball.
Well, the
You love
NFL
baseball.
draft is in like 6 weeks.
Yeah. So we're the page is going to turn. We're not going away. Okay. So, but there's going to be other venues and platforms for us to do this. Who the hell keeps texting me while I'm trying to say goodbye?
I see your phone keep
God
going off.
damn. Get the hint. What? Oh my God! What? Hey, hey, houses Broward sell for $650,000. Specs in mind. Feel free to give me a. Okay, I got a lead. What do you know?
Hey.
She definitely wouldn't know. She's not watching this. She's not a sports girl. But anyway, so on behalf of myself and John, the Autobahn, Matty, Damaz, Masaracchio, thank you very, very much for going on this ride with us. Enjoy the Super Bowl. I would encourage you to get out a bottle of Jägermeister and some shot glasses, and every time they do a cutaway to Taylor Swift, everybody's got to do a shot. Do a shot. Shot. Okay, for you potheads out there, bong hits. But have fun with it. Have a good time with it. Okay, I mean, don't get so emotionally invested either way. Have fun and have a good time with it. Okay, because the Super Bowl is a purely American tradition. It is a holiday. If I had my way, we'd put up a damn tree.
And life is short.
Yeah, and life is too short to worry about some billionaire pop princess. It's easy to say, billionaire pop.
Not
princess.
easy to say, clearly. Yeah.
And Travis Kelce. Let the kids have fun, for crying out loud. Everybody, oh well, my opinion's valid. Nah, not really. No, and who cares? Who cares? I mean, my opinion's valid too, and the only reason why I give a shit is because you got a problem with it. That's funny as hell to me. That's how absurd it is. It's funny. So have fun with the Super Bowl. Okay, who you're cheering for, who you're betting on, whatever. Have fun with the Super Bowl.
Eat a lot of wings and drink beer and just
yeah,
enjoy
exactly.
The game, man. Come on.
Yeah, especially you guys doing bong hits every time they show her. Can you imagine doing a bong hit every time Taylor Swift they do a cutaway? Everybody'd be dead by halftime.
Pretty
You'd
much.
miss Usher, for crying out loud. And then, of course, Taylor coming out and doing a cameo.
Plus 450, baby.
Okay.
Cameo on the
On behalf
450
of
boys.
myself and the boys, thank you so very, very much for tuning in, and go have fun. And we'll catch you guys probably in about a month.
Maybe less.
Maybe less.
keep an
Yeah.
eye.
Pitchers and catchers report when?
Next week.
Next week.
I got
There
so
you-
much
Some of them are
research
already
to
there.
do. Baseball.
Dodgers are in camp.
I am not a catcher. Okay, we'll catch you guys on the flip side really, really soon here at the Gonzo Radio Network. Bye-bye.